What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy B Mac here. I know this is not my normal setting. Don't ask. Trying to get back to doing these with more regularity. No negative crap about the past. Not even an update with that. Like I told you guys a few videos ago, I am 38 now, and the older I get, not even on some like, I think I'm better or more mature or anything than anybody else. I just don't mentally have the time. Like when I tell you all, if I could just be real for a little bit, like I was real in my last video for those who watched for a little bit, but like life has been taking your boy on all sorts of hurricane like roller coasters. That's what I was trying to say. My brain wanted to say hurricane coasters, but that's not a thing. Hurricane roller coasters, right? So like still job searching. That's kind of like, I don't know, going as it's going. Still doing the delivery stuff. Having some car trouble at this moment, so gonna have to figure that portion out and get that squared away. Like I told you, driving a car all the time will run it down. So I've got to get some work done that will keep me from driving the way I want to for the foreseeable future. But I'm supposed to be getting a new car hopefully in the next week or two. So I know me and Toyota got to work some stuff out. And I don't know. I may just end up letting the car go. It was supposed to be a birthday gift to my kid, but for a kid that I don't even see right now, which is a whole other fruit basket of things that I'm not going to go into. So yeah, I'm currently on pedestrian time, or about to figure out if Marta is smarter, or whatever else until I can get my car situation resolved. Will I say that I lost hope? No. I definitely think I'm still worthy. I think I'm still trying to be phenomenal and trying to go the what would Goku do route, I guess. It's just hard. It's hard. For those who keep up with these, my dad passed a few years ago. Be 3 years now. And that was like my rock. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my mom and she's awesome to talk to, but like the way she comforts me is not the way my dad would comfort me. And my dad, I don't know, just seeing his life and seeing his struggles and the things that he never complained about, maybe not to me. You know, my mom probably heard an earful. You know, my dad wasn't really one for many words if he didn't feel like it was going to make a difference. He was just very cut and dry like that. A few videos ago, I actually posted a tribute to him. If you want to see my dad's personality, just a small snippet, go back and watch it. But yeah, just that motivational male in my life to be like, hey, you'll be all right. I'm 60 plus years old and I did it and I'm half your age. Blah, 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 blah. You know, my mom, she'll say, son, you just keep your head up and just keep going. And it's like, yeah, I appreciate that. But like, it's not the same as the male in my life that I've watched work hard and have setbacks and everything else. You know, as far as I'm concerned, my mom don't have setbacks. You know, I'm not saying my mom's an angel, but as far as I'm concerned, she's pretty damn close to it. You know, she does a lot for other people. She's very giving. She's very direct. For those of y'all who may have met her or know her. And it's kind of where I get a bit of my personality from, well, the combination of her and my father. So I know I have it in me to succeed. I know I have it in me to bounce back from this valley that I'm in. Shout out to my homegirl, Kitty Sapphire. She taught me that term, peaks and valleys. She was like, we all go through peaks and valleys in life. And at the time I met her, I was in a valley, living out of my car, actually. So it's been worse, but it ain't there yet. because of some other shit that I had going on in my life. I'm not gonna drudge up the past, but I was living in my car for about 6 to 7 months. I had served during COVID, or my unit got activated during COVID-19 when it was like a whole global pandemic, and I served on orders. And fuck it, I'll talk about it. Keep it real, right? So I was on orders. Never had a one night stand. I think I mentioned this in another one of my videos. Anyway, I was on order, but I was also under quarantine. Okay, this is where I went. This is where I take accountability. This is where I went wrong. So my former unit, quick story. I got transferred to this unit when this unit was supposed to go to Afghanistan. We ended up getting a stand down order, didn't go to Afghanistan. So I'm stuck as their only radio person or signal person, combo person attached to this particular unit. It was MP unit, and never really got the vibe that I was liked. Never really felt like the camaraderie. Got involved in a whole like possible potential sexual assault case, and before anybody jumps the gun, I was trying to do what was right. There was too many males in a particular room with a few soldiers, female soldiers that were in my unit, and so I went and said something. I'm not gonna lie, because I have daughters and I have women in my life, and I don't think anyone deserves to be sexually assaulted. Granted, it didn't go that far, but there were some horny dudes, and it was a whole thing. So, anyways, after kind of getting the limelight put on me for being a witness to or a party to that particular situation, we transferred hotels that we were staying in when we were activated. And one day or another, I wasn't feeling so hot. I was late to formation, and explained that, I had a hard time getting up, and I did. Was feeling really sluggish, really nasty. Had a temp of about 101. So during this time, anybody who had a temperature over 99, you were put into quarantine, essentially. Can't be, around nobody, social distance, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I was on quarantine for about a day and a half before I got in trouble. And this is what leads to the one night stand thing. So I met a girl on orders. I was in my PT shirt, because you wear your PTs when you're not in full uniform, and if you don't have civilian clothes or have been ordered, you can wear them. Okay. So she was like, "Oh, you're in the Army," and I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" And she's like, "Oh, whatever." We ended up getting to know each other, hanging out. Yeah, and we adulted. Let's put it that way. And then I had a nice little knock at my door. My first sergeant, my readiness NCO, my first line leader, so my section leader, and then I want to say there was another NCO there. It was like 5 or 6 of them. It was a big thing. Me and the first sergeant sat down. He counseled me and basically was like, "Well, how are you under quarantine if the soldiers on the right and the left of your room heard what sounded like sex sounds?" And I'm just kind of like, it is what it is for a sergeant. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, "Oh," first thing out of his mouth, "Was it any of our soldiers?" And I'm like, "No, like, I'm cool." Anyway, so as I was saying, I was on orders until that particular incident. And outside of that, and then apparently I embarrassed our first sergeant because of the way I reacted when I got my initial COVID test. After working at a testing site and seeing everybody else getting these huge goddamn things shoved up their nose. Maybe I was being overdramatic, whatever. I didn't like it. And I reacted poorly. And he said I embarrassed him. And so with that, I got kicked off orders. So now, just to give you a timeline, to let you know I'm telling the fucking bull-faced truth. Okay, we have no reason to lie about this. This was April going into May of 2020. Okay, so I got kicked off orders in April, or end of April, or my orders essentially ended when May started. Okay. I was home or at my mom's for about a week. Things didn't work out. I was asked to leave. I left. And then I had the genius idea that, there was this girl in New York that I was talking to, and you know what? F Georgia. Georgia ain't done nothing for me. Fucking Army didn't pay me yet either way. Anyway, so whatever. And I left. I left in May, beginning of May. So we got May, June, July, August. So we'll go 4.5 months. Um, I've been in the car, and it wasn't for my oldest, asking me to come back because my youngest doesn't really talk that much at the time. Said, "Daddy, are you ever coming home?" And I was like, "I got a job up here in New York. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, I had got to the point where I was seeing if I could even get my unit transferred up to New York, so I could just finish out New York, my contract, and be done. Right, right. Didn't work out that way. So I say that to say I've been down before, um, in a worse way. And I figured that out, and God taught me through. And I've just been getting a lot of religious Instagram posts and like messages lately. And I'm not gonna say I'm like a uber Christian or like the biggest like practicer person. I'm not gonna pretend and say I do. I mean, I just don't go to church. I pray. I try to walk in what I know is the right thing. And do I lose my way? Yeah. Do I misstep? Yeah. Do I say the wrong thing? Yeah. I'm human. I'm fallible. But I think just with this time that I've had as of recently, it really has just kind of allowed me to reflect and to take stock of where I am and appreciate what I do have and the people that I do have around me and the people I still do have in my corner and the relationships that I do maintain. But then there's part of me that's like, if the definition of insanity is do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, like what am I doing to change this so I'm not down bad again 4 or 5 years from now? You know what I'm saying? COVID's height was 6 years ago now. So for me, here I am thinking to myself, 6 years ago, I was sleeping in a car around this time. Very little money in my pocket, no roof over my head. You know what I'm saying? It's like my wit and the ability to Uber Eat and Dash and the crap I'm doing now. And I made it way. There was some help along the way, but still made it way. So, as I see that this video is getting a little longer, I want to just tell my fans and followers, if I have fans, let's just call them followers, that sometimes you gotta be self-reflective. Like how in my little story just now about the one night stand thing, I didn't have to do that. I knew that I was under COVID restrictions and wasn't supposed to be around nobody else. I just didn't care. Okay? And that's part of my problem. I can admit that to myself that there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, many more times in my life where, whether it was my mouth, my ego, just standing on my own principles, I was the cause of particular things. You know what I'm saying? So I have to own that. Like, part of the reason I'm no longer working in healthcare is partly because of my mouth. Okay? I'm accountable for that. Do I regret some of the things I said? No, I don't. But I understand that the field that I worked in wasn't going to have somebody who they felt like was angry or couldn't be approached and this and that. And it wasn't even on like I'm flying around cussing out coworkers or nothing at the hospital. It was just, I was very black and white about my job. Okay? It didn't put a ticket in, wasn't getting done. Ask those who have worked in healthcare IT before. But that was my stickler point. And essentially my manager and I did not agree. He felt like I was not giving enough customer service, blah, 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 a few other things that I'm not going to get into. But it was time for separation either way. And I only say that because I look back to myself and say, dang, if I still had my Grady money, And it's like, great money is cool, and Grady money was cool, and it was easy. But was it worth it? Ask me in a few more months. But ultimately, I like to look at it in the sense of the same way when the Navy didn't work out and other things in my life didn't work out the way I may have wanted them to or prayed for or whatever. Sometimes God's plan isn't our plan. But we have to be accountable as people to understand that, okay, well, God ain't just going to make it happen for you. I mean, yes, He will, but you also have to act. And so you have to act in the right way. You have to walk in the right light. And sometimes learn to keep your mouth shut. Just take it on the chin. I'm still growing. I'm still working on that. But I wanted my message today to really just be about accountability and knowing when to hold yourself accountable. Because when it's all said and done, when mom is gone, when dad is gone, when your friends aren't there, when it's just you, like myself sitting right here in this lovely little restroom, just wanted to try a different environment. You have to look that person in the mirror, just like I do every day, and say, hey man, this ain't where you want to be, or this is where you want to be. And only you can change that. And you had something to do with why you are in the position you're in, good or bad. So that's all I got. This be boy B Mac here. Again, they're gonna keep coming. And it'll just be little snippets of things I think and things in my life or things that I feel like could be shared with my audience that will help better them some way, you know. Let me be an example. Shit, don't be out here struggling like me. Okay, like you know shit. Be accountable for things you do. But blaming the rest of the world ain't gonna get it. And only you can really change your own situation. So that's the only positivity I got right now. Not that's the only thing I'm positive about, but that's all I'm sharing. I'll see you guys next time when I do record, and I hope everyone's having a blessed life, doing the best they can, making their way around town, driving fast, blah, 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 blah. It's an inside joke, I'm sorry. Anyway, no more Vanessa Carlton quotes. I'm out.